Hello everyone, I hope you are enjoying my videos till now. I am on the second module now. If you haven't watched the first module videos, please go back and check my other videos you where you will find understand cloud concepts. Now in this I'm talking about understand core Azure services, and I did another video as well in this module which you can watch in my previous videos. This covers 30 to 35%, so this module is a lot, and also it has all the services, so I should describe all the services. I will give you a recap. Myself, Nitesh Sharma, Senior Consultant at Deloitte. You can follow me on Twitter, NK Sharma IN, or you can send me an email on sharmank366@gmail.com. We have already discussed all this. Let's go directly to the current module we are working on. This all has been discussed. Okay, core cloud services, Azure architecture and service guarantees. So, you have heard buzzwords about cloud, scale, elasticity, microservices. Perhaps you have seen other companies be successful with the cloud and wondered how it could help you meet your business challenge or even grow your career. Did you know that more than 90% of Fortune 500 companies run on Microsoft Cloud? So, it is not a surprise that cloud is really, especially Azure Cloud is really famous about it. So in this module, we will explore the physical structure of Azure infrastructure, understand the service level agreements (SLA) provided by Azure, learn how to provide your own service level agreements for your apps. So in that sequence, we have first region. What is region? A region is a geographical area on the planet containing at least one potential multiple data centers that are nearby and networked together with a low latency network. Azure intelligently assigns and controls the resources within each region to ensure workloads are appropriately balanced. When you deploy a resource in Azure, you will often need to choose the region resource where you want your resource to be deployed. So if you can see here, we have multiple regions, and these regions contains multiple data centers. So let's say if we talk about North Europe, it has multiple data centers within it, and these multiple regions can be combined as well, which we talk in our next slide, sorry. But why should we use regions? What is the benefit of region? We will talk about it later. Why this is important is because Azure has more global regions than any other cloud providers. This gives you the flexibility to bring applications closer to your user no matter where they are. It also provides better scalability, redundancy, and preserves data residency for your services. So we will discuss these terms later, which in other videos, because these terms are especially special, and you will have them in your exam as well. So scalability, redundancy, high availability, and these terms are really special, so we will discuss them in next videos. What is availability zone? But before that, let us just go back to this one, because one also in this so one data center is combined of um, multiple resources, and then one region is combined of multiple data centers, and one geographical region is one geography is combined of multiple regions. So you can still go one level above. What is an availability zone? You want to ensure your service and data are redundant, so you can protect your information in case of failure. When you are hosting your infrastructure, this requires creating duplicate hardware environments, as you can help make your app highly available throughout availability zones. So simply, as you can see here, we have a single Azure region which contains 3 availability zones. So if you want to benefit from availability zone functionality from Azure, your app will be stored or copied in other locations as well. In case if one of your data center goes, um, yeah, if it has any problem, then other availability zones can take up, and they can continue serving your clients. So you are secure, and yeah, so you have no problem about failure, and it can then that's how it can increase your availability. So there is difference between availability zone and availability sets. Availability sets are something different. We will discuss about it later. These availability sets are related to virtual machines, and availability zones are related to region. So multiple availability zones uh, are combined, and they are within a region. Not all the regions support availability zones. So this question can be asked in the in the exam as well. So only not all the regions has support for availability zones. Only the following regions have minimum of 3 separate zones to ensure resiliency, because you need at least 3 regions, sorry, 3 zones, availability zones, to provide you availability zone facility. So only Central US, East US to West Europe, France Central, North Europe, Southeast Asia. These has possibility for availability zone, but Azure is working hard to increase this possibility. So maybe in future you will have more region supporting availability zones. Next is region pair. So you have your availability zones. What if your region itself goes has some problem like disaster, natural disaster? Then your data is lost, because it was in the same region, and whole region has some like, let's say, war. Then what happens to your data? So then Azure provides you region pair. So your whole availability zone is copied to another region, and those region can have a copy of your data in case when your data is lost, or you have some your physical problems with your data centers. So but there is one condition: each Azure region is always paired with another region within the same geography. So it should be within the same geography, such as US, Europe, or Asia, at least 300 miles away. So you are not copying your data to exactly to another geography, but in the same geography, but around like at least 300 miles away. So you can have questions in your exam exactly with this sentence, so please keep this in mind. Next is understanding service level agreements. So here we will cover only a small part of this, because service level agreements are really important. This is separate module. But as we just discussed regions, ability zones, and let's just discuss a little bit about SLA agreements, because you might have questions in your exam um, related to percent of SLA. So a typical SLA specifies performance target commitments that range from 99.9%, so 3 nines, to 5 nines, 99.999%, for each corresponding Azure product or service. These targets can only apply to such performance criteria as uptime or response time for services, uptime connectivity guarantees. So if they fail providing you uptime and connectivity, then Azure gives you service credits. They may return your money, or there are terms like this, so you will find them uh, in your SLAs. But they simply talk about, if SLA is 99.9%, then you may have downtime per year 3.65 days. If your SLA is 99.9%, then you can have 8.76 hours per year downtime. Same if you have 99.95%, then you can have 4.38 hours. Same if you have 99.99%, then 52.56 minutes, and the maximum is 99.999%, 5 nines, then you might have 5.26 minutes only. So you have this question in exams many times. Actually, they ask, either they can say which service Azure service provides you 5 times 9% uptime, which means like 99.999% uptime SLA agreement. So only service you can remember is Cosmos, Azure Cosmos DB database. So Azure Cosmos database provides you 5 9% uptime. As simple as that. So we have an example. So you have a web app which provides 99.95% uptime, and you have SQL database which have 99.99% uptime. But then if your web app is dependent on SQL database, that means your uptime multiplied by SQL database uptime, it is less than the committed uptime, which will be 99.94%. This question is always in the certificate in the question paper, or every one or two question paper. So the probability is really high. So you can really remember this question. Just remember, the if one app is dependent on another app, then SLA is multiplied by it's a multiple cross product of the both SLAs, which is always less. So let's have your knowledge check, how you did. Check your knowledge. Deploying an app can be done directly to what level of physical granularity? So, this is really good question. You don't know server rack when you deploy or create a resource in Azure. You don't know data center, which data center you are deploying to. You only know region. You can only select a region. So it's region. To use Azure data centers that are made available with power, cooling, and networking capabilities, independent from other data centers in a region, choose a region that supports what that supports. It can be geography distribution. Do you think service level agreement? No, because service level agreements are supported in every region. Then availability zones, yes, because not all regions supports availability zones. Application availability refers to what? The service level agreement of associated resource, application support for an availability zone, the overall time that a system is functional and working. As simple as that. Let's check our answers. Congratulations. Well done. Let's see the regions. Azure organizes infrastructure around regions, which include multiple data centers. You can pick the region you want resources deployed into. You can't select a specific data center or location within a data center. You don't have that right. Availability zones are data centers that set up to be an isolation boundary from other in the region with their own power, cooling, networking. If one zone in a region goes down, other availability zones in the region continue to work. So they take care of your workload. The time that a system is working is referred to as application availability. Core cloud services, managed services with the Azure portal. So in this section we will learn about Azure portal. How can you manage your services? So learn about the Azure management options, navigate the Azure portal, customize the dashboard, learn how to opt into preview services and features. So Azure management options. So what do you have for the management option? You have Azure portal for interacting with Azure via geographical user interface. You have Azure PowerShell and Azure command line interface CLI for command line and automation based interaction with Azure. You have Azure Cloud Shell for web based command line interface. You have Azure mobile app for monitoring and managing your resources from your mobile devices. This is a short question in your exam. What are the options you have for your to interact with you to do the management or interact with your Azure services? So you have Azure portal, Azure PowerShell, Azure CLI, Azure Cloud Shell, and Azure mobile app. So first, let's see this with the Azure portal. We will directly go to Azure portal in a while. So welcome to Azure portal. This is the portal. It looks like when you are in the home page. So simply, the Azure portal is a public website that can access with any web browser. Once you sign in with Azure account, you can create, manage and monitor any available Azure services. You can identify a service you are looking for, get links for help on topic, and deploy, manage and delete resources. It also guides you through complex administrative tasks using Wizard in a toolbox. So let's look at it. You have three lines here which shows you everything. Uh, so you have home page, dashboard, all other services, all resources, resource group, app services, actually frequently used things. And this is also called marketplace, Azure marketplace, where you can find everything. Here you will see directory and subscription. So if you want to switch directory, you can switch another directory, and you can see your directory plus subscriptions. If you don't have any subscription, then you won't see anything. But here I used Microsoft Learn Sandbox, which is yesterday I was creating videos and I got a sandbox. I'll give you link. You can also use Microsoft Learn Sandbox easily, and you can have some hands-on Azure portal and create your resources, app services, anything you like, and it will be available only for 3 hours. So you have to finish your work within 3 hours. It and then it will go away. So and let's go to one by one these things. Let's start with the Azure Advisor. What is Azure Advisor? You will have questions in exam in your exam. The Azure Advisor is a free service built into Azure that provides recommendations on high availability, security, performance and operational excellence and cost. So Azure Advisor it provides you possibility for five things: high availability, security, performance, cost, and operational excellence. I don't have any advice because uh, I'm I don't have any resource deployed. So in general account, you will have some advice here from Azure Advisor. And next is so we go back. I will give you link for the sandbox, and you can activate your sandbox so that you can have practical hands on this. I can tell you. So you go like this on docs.microsoft.com, and you select learn, and then you select AZ-900, and then in this fourth module you have this exercise with paint, and then you have this sign in to activate your sandbox. If I just click here, it will create a sandbox for me. Simply, if I just click now, it is asking me which account I want to use, and you see it is just creating a sandbox for me. It will take some time. Let's continue then. Then we have all services. What are the all services we have? These services are categorized in different modules like general, compute, networking, storage, web, mobile, container, database, analytics, blockchain, AI plus machine learning, Internet of Things, IoT, mixed reality, integration, identity, security, DevOps, migrate, monitor. You see, a lot of options are available here. So you really have a lot of possibilities to play around and to do things. So if you use your sandbox, you can really do a lot. So like general compute services, you have virtual machines, containers, many things actually. I cannot go through everything, but you will have questions in your exam mostly related to these things, and mostly compute and networking, storage, containers, databases. Also, you will have some questions, so keep it in mind that I will create another video if in the fifth module where I will explain only the definitions of everything, because in question paper you always they always ask like definitions or some questions related to definitions only, where you just have to select one option and depends what is true. So I will create that video in the exceptional module, which is fifth module, in the end of all the videos. You can let's go back. Dashboard is also important part. You can configure your dashboard, you can create panes in your dashboard, and you can do whatever you want. Actually, a simple user friendly dashboard, so you can customize it. You can resize any tile, you can clone a dashboard, you can share a dashboard, and you can when you share it, it is shared as a JSON file. Also, you can share it by URL. JSON file, you can edit JSON file. Uh, you can select a shared dashboard which was shared by your colleague, and you just use it. You can unshare it, delete it, reshare it. You can do, it's like it's really user friendly, and you can do whatever you want. Okay, up. Let's go back, and we go to home, and then not home, all services. So here you see preview. So those services which are available in preview are marked as preview. And preview are also two types: private preview and public preview. You will have questions related to these two things in your exam, so keep it in mind. And Azure feature marked private preview is available to specific Azure customers for evaluation purpose only. This is typical by invite only and issued directly by the product team responsible for the feature or service. So remember this: private preview is not available for everyone, and you will have this question in your exam for sure. And public preview is available to all Azure customers for evaluation purposes. These preview can be turned on through the preview feature page, as in your in here you can just use it. And once these preview features are verified, tested, and feedback is good, then they make them GA, general availability, and then they release them, and this preview sign is removed. These preview services are specific, and they don't fall into SLAs. So remember this, you will have this question in your exam about previews. Knowledge check. Okay, let's check your knowledge. I'm using this Microsoft doc where you can, in this module, you can just go to this thing up, private preview. Okay, check your knowledge. An Azure dashboard is stored as which type of file? We just discussed it, JSON file. Azure Advisor provides advice on which type of topics? Creating Azure account, you think? Best practices and security for your services? Using Azure portal effectively? What do you think? I think this one, because Azure Advisor gives you five suggestions related to five things, suggestions related to those five things. Azure Cloud Cell is an interactive browser accessible cell for managing Azure resources. What do you think? So there is difference. Azure Cloud Cell, it's true actually. I'll explain you later. Let's check. Yes, these are true. So of course, Azure Dashboard is stored as JSON. As we discussed, Azure Advisor is free service built into Azure that provides recommendations on high availability, security, performance, and cost. And Azure Cloud Cell is an interactive shell for managing Azure resources. We already discussed this. You can control and administer all of your Azure resources in the current subscription through a command line interface built right into the portal. Okay, Azure compute options. We will learn about identify compute options in Azure. Select compute options that are appropriate for your business because there are many Azure compute options, but what you need, what you want, depending on your uh, requirements. So, what is Azure Compute? Azure Compute is an on demand computing service for running cloud based applications. It provides computing resources like multi core processors and supercomputers via virtual machines and containers. It also provides serverless computing to run an app without requiring infrastructure setup or configuration. The resources are available on demand and can typically be created in minutes or even seconds. So you have four type of common compute options: Azure virtual machines, Azure containers, Azure app service, Azure serverless computing. We will talk about all of four in next slides. Let's continue. So Azure virtual machines. What are virtual machines? I think most of you know, software emulation of physical computers. They include a virtual processor, memory, storage, and networking resources. They can host an operating system, and you are able to install and run software just like physical computer. And by using a remote desktop client (RDP), you can use the control you can use and control the virtual machine as if you were sitting in front of it. So simply, virtual machine contains uh, simply using a hypervisor, um, cloud providers can create virtual machines for you. So their responsibility ends until the hypervisor thing. So they just give you a virtual machine. Virtual machine is good when you want to just lift and shift to cloud, because your application was dependent, or you had on premises data centers, and you just want to move to cloud. Virtual machines are good because you can just lift and shift to cloud, and then later on you can choose which resources you can remove from virtual machine and use cheaper options, like, because virtual machines are expensive, so you can move to cheaper options. You have scaling in virtual machines, so you have availability sets, you have virtual machine scale sets, you have Azure batch. What is availability set? An availability set is a logical grouping of two or more virtual machines that help keep your application available during planned or unplanned maintenance. So because you really need to think about availability sets, because you are the one who will be managing your software updates. So you should have an update domain which will handle your update things. You should have a fault domain which will handle your fault things, and you should have availability sets which will handle your faults and update domains respectively. So in this diagram, if you can see, you have availability sets, you have fault domain, you have update domain. You will have certainly questions in your exam related to this. What so why you, if you can see here, this is cross product of fault domain, and this is using update domain 1 and 2. You see, an availability set is always containing two update domains and two virtual machines. So minimum two virtual machines you need for availability sets, and availability sets are always within the same data center. So this is also an interesting question in exam. We just saw availability zones. Availability zones are created within regions, and availability sets are created within data centers. So SLAs for availability sets should be lesser, because if one data center goes down, then your whole application is down, because availability set is doesn't matter if even if you have availability set, because the data center was down. So availability the SLAs for availability sets are 99.94%, where uh, for availability zones normally SLAs are 99.99%. So keep it in mind, or 95%. Keep it in mind, availability sets are lesser preferable than availability zones. Let's go to containers. What are Azure containers? A container is a modified runtime environment built on top of host OS that executes your application. A container doesn't use virtualization, so it doesn't waste resources simulating virtual hardware with a redundant operating system. So, virtual machines, you have your own system, virtualized own system, whereas container is within that environment. You are just separated with virtually separated within some unit where you can install all your dependencies. But you don't care about operating system. The container itself handles operating system, so you don't have to worry about updating your operating system or maintenance, all those things. And this is giving you separate portion as well. So containers are more preferable if your application does not require some specific configurations, because containers does not give you that much flexibility to install some specific dependencies, operating system related dependencies. So you have container, Azure Container Instance. What is Azure Container Instance? Azure Container Instance offers the fastest and simplest way to run containers in Azure. You don't have to manage any virtual machines or configure any additional services. It is a PaaS, platform as a service offering, that allows you to upload your containers and execute them directly with automatic elastic scale. So it gives you elasticity to automatically scale up and down for your services. Azure Kubernetes services also task of automating, managing, and interacting with a large number of containers is known as orchestration. Azure Kubernetes services is complete orchestration service for containers with distributed architectures with multiple containers. So you simply can you will have this in your exam uh, about containers. So simply remember this. In this diagram also you can see, within a virtual network you have this Azure database, AKS, and Azure Active Directory, which is with the external word, which has interface using CLI. What is Azure App Service? Azure App Service enables you to build and host web apps, background jobs, mobile backend, and RESTful APIs in programming language of your choice without managing infrastructure. It offers automatic scaling and high availability app service support for both Windows and Linux, and enables automated deployment from GitHub, Azure DevOps, or any Git repo to support a continuous deployment model. So you see, Azure App Service is next level beneficial thing after containers. So these are in sequence. First, if you need most of the control, then you need virtual machine. If you need little bit less control, but you still need your own container, then container service. Then third, if you are just deploying modern REST API, then you can simply use Azure App Services, which will give you everything it you need. So if you want to deploy your .NET Core 3 web app, it's the best solution you have actually for your for your deployment. So I would go with web apps, API apps, or web jobs, mobile apps, depending what you need. Still in app service. These are four types. Web apps are simply ASP.NET Core, Java, Ruby, Node.js, PHP, or Python APIs. API apps are same REST-based web APIs. Web jobs are .exe files made in PHP, Python scripts, or using any language you create exe files. So these are the web jobs. Mobile app backends, uh, also you can make them using C Sharp, Node.js, SQL database. So it gives you a lot of flexibility. Azure serverless computing in Azure. You have two options. So Azure Functions and Azure Logic Apps. After virtual machines, containers, app services, you have serverless computing. So even in app services, you were using a um, specific portion of some physical unit where you were selecting, or your application was depending on so you were able to configure like operating system, which operating system you need, which latest technology you are using, like let's say .NET Core, or which database you want to use. So you were able to select these things. But let's say your application does not need all this configuration. You just want to, let's say, you just want to send an email to all your employees at 12 o'clock. You're not gonna write an application for that and deploy it to virtual machine, container, or app service. You can simply have another solution, which is Azure Function, which can execute code in almost any modern language. You just have that function and you can use it. So this is serverless computing. It is not actually serverless, but as it is not using any resource, so they call it serverless. Um, so you will have question in your exam. What is Azure Function? Azure Function simply can execute your code in any language, and it can be triggered by any event you configure, and it is only charged when it is used. So for example, you just want to send at 12 p.m. An email. You just send that. Your Azure function is triggered, and it sends an email using some logic, and then it goes down. It doesn't do anything. So you have the best possible solution available, because you really pay nothing actually, because you didn't use much resources, and you have flexibility to um, just use it for 1 minute, 2 minutes, which charge nothing. And same way, Azure Logic Apps, which are designed in web-based designer and can execute logic triggered by Azure services without writing any code. So the first one was you were writing code in Azure Functions, and second one is drag and drop, which is for people who don't really need any technical background knowledge. They can configure Azure Logic apps themselves. So it's so easy that you can do many things. Like there are many AI applications. So let's say I just want to create an logic app which um, selects, or which gather all the tweets related to Microsoft Azure. So let's say hashtag Microsoft Azure. I can configure an AI app, a logic app, which will gather me all the tweets which has hashtag Microsoft Azure. And I don't need any background technical knowledge for that, so anyone can do it. And if you want to do this application using your .NET code or any other language, you will really have to develop a lot of code. So you see, you just do things and you just use Microsoft um, uh, available features so easily. Let's have a knowledge check. What did you learn till now? So let's see. Have an existing application running locally on your own server, you need additional capacity but prefer to move to Azure instead of buying upgraded on premises hardware. Which compute option would likely give you the quickest route to getting your application running in Azure? So we just discussed virtual machines, containers, and serverless computing, and we just saw what what is good, or what are the benefits of using using different things. So if you want to just move your application, this question will be in your exam as well, so pay attention to this. And you all always get confused with this because it is giving you all the options. You everything, every option is possible depending your application, but pay attention to the last sentence. Which compute option would likely give you the quickest route to getting your application running in Azure? And we just said virtual machines are best for lift and shift, so virtual machines is the correct answer. Imagine that you work on a photo sharing application that runs on millions of mobile devices. Demand is unpredictable because you see a spike in usage whenever a locally or nationally significant event occurs. Which Azure compute resource is the best match for this workload? So virtual machines, I think it's a more mobile device, modern application. So no, containers might be, serverless computing might be. So why one of them? What is? Pay attention to the last line. Which Azure compute source is best match for this workload? Because of this spike in users locally or nationally. So serverless computing is always best option for for moving. The compute options give you different levels of control over the configuration of the environment in which your application runs. Which of the following list the compute option in order from most control to least control? This is the simplest one. Where do you have the most control and the least control? Virtual machines, container, and serverless computing. Let's check our answers. Exactly. Azure data storage options. So in this module, we will learn survey the data storage options in Azure, explore how Azure can meet your business demands for storing and analyzing your data, compare Azure data options with on-premise storage, and what are the benefits of using Azure store data? Automated backup and recovery, replication across the globe, support for data analytics, encryption capabilities, multiple data types, data storage in virtual disks, storage tiers. So if you are a developer, you can simply get this throughout that this is the best then, because to do any of these you have to work hard to use these functionalities, like automated backup and recovery, not an easy task. Replication across the globe, you need another resources. Support for data analytics, you really need another program or options or tools. Encryption possibilities or capabilities, you really need encryption capabilities. Multiple data types and data storage in virtual disk. So yeah, these advantages I can really say you really need them. You have multiple data storage options. You have Azure SQL database, which is relational database as a service, DAS, based on latest stable version of Microsoft SQL Server Database Engine. SQL database is a high performance, reliable, fully managed and secure database. Then you have Azure Cosmos DB, which is Azure Cosmos DB is globally distributed database service. It supports schemaless data that lets you build highly responsive and always on applications to support constantly changing data. You can use this feature to store data that is updated and maintained by user around the world. The and Cosmos DB gives you 99.999% SLA. So remember that. Then you have Azure Blob Storage, which is unstructured data storage, meaning that there are no restrictions on kind of data it can hold. Blobs are highly scalable, and apps work with blobs in much the same way as they work with the files on a disk, such as reading and writing data. Blob storage can manage thousands of simultaneous uploads, massive amounts of data, video data, constantly growing log files, and can be reached from anywhere with an internet connection. So very good use of blob storage. Azure Data Lakes storage. The data lake feature allow you to perform analytics on your data uses and prepare reports. Data lake is large repository that stores both structured and unstructured data. You will have questions in your exam related to these data storage options, so please pay attention to this. Azure Files offers fully managed file shares in the cloud that are accessible via the industry standard service message block SMB protocol. Azure file shares can be mounted concurrently by cloud or on-premises deployments of Windows, Linux, or Mac OS. Then you have Azure Queue. Azure Queue storage is service for storing large number of messages that can be accessed from anywhere in the world. So multiple apps can contact Azure Queue, and Azure Queue will then direct those messages to that service. So it is really useful when you have event-based application. For disk storage, for like let's say for virtual machines, you need some disk storage. So you have possibility Azure Disk Storage, which can be shared with multiple virtual machines. Disk storage are solid state drives, SSD or HDD, hard disk drives. You have different type of storage tiers: hot storage tier, cool storage, archive storage tier. Hot storage is optimized for storing data that is accessed frequently. So the data that you need to access frequently, you store it as hot storage. Cool storage, when you use it for like at least 30 days or like that. And archive storage is 180 days. So as down you go, less you pay, but as up you go, more you pay. Like if you use hot storage, you pay more. If you use archive storage, you pay the least. And if we compare Azure data storage and on-premises storage, it is cost effectiveness, reliability, storage types, agility. So it's really beneficial. Let's check your knowledge. Suppose you work at a startup with limited funding. Why might you prefer Azure Data Storage over an on-premises solutions? To ensure you run on a specific brand of hardware, which will let you
from a marketing partnership and hardware vendor? No, I guess. The as you pay as you go billing model lets you avoid buying expensive hardware. Mm, yes, might be, yes. And to get exact control over the location of your data storage, you don't have control over the location of your storage, so no. So as you pay as you go, as simple as that. Which of the following situation would yield the most benefit from relocating on-premise data store to Azure? Unpredictable storage demand that increase and decrease in multiple times throughout the year. Yes, it's as simple as that. Long-term steady growth in storage demand. Don't know. Consistent, unchanging storage demand. I think the first one because it supports elasticity. New, a newly released mobile app using Azure storage has been mentioned by a celebrity. Seeing a huge spike in user volume. To meet the unexpected new user demand, what feature you of pay-as-you-go storage will be most beneficial? The ability to provision and deploy new infrastructure quickly. Yes. Let's check our answers. Congratulations. Thanks. Azure networking options. Uh, the last section in this module, uh, how an Azure virtual network provides secure network communication among resources such as virtual machines and other networks. What high availability and resilience mean, and how Azure Load Balancer can increase resiliency within a single geographic location. What latency is, and how how traffic manager helps reduce network latency and provides you the latency. So very nice topic, very nice chapter, and you really need to focus on this one. Um, but we will talk about most of its terms in a separate video because that is really important. But in we have already talked about Azure region virtual network, and but we haven't talked about network security group. What is network security group? So you have multiple resources in a resource group, and you want to stop connection, or you want to control the connections between those resources. So a network resource security group allows or denies inbound network traffic to your Azure resources. Think of a network security group as cloud level firewall for your network. So you can just deny a network or inbound calls to to a resource. So it is at resource level. Whereas for a virtual network level, you have firewalls, virtual network gateways, you have application gateways, and you have firewalls. So NSG is same like firewall at resource level. So let's check your knowledge. What is an Azure region? Very simple. One or more Azure data centers within a specific geographic location. Yes, I guess. Which of the following is true about virtual networks? You configure virtual networks through software. True. Azure Load Balancer and scale with Azure Load Balancer. You'll have your site up and running on Azure, but how can you help ensure your site is running 24/7? Hmm. For instance, what happens when you need to do weekly maintenance? Your service will still be unavailable during your maintenance window, and because your site reaches users all over the world, there is no good time to take down your systems for maintenance. You may also run into performance issues if too many users connect at the same time. So, what you should do? What are availability and high availability? Availability refers to how long your service is up and running without interruption. High availability or highly available refers to a service that's up and running for a long period of time. You know how frustrating it is when you can't access the information you need. Think of a social media or news site that you visit daily, and can you always access the site, or do you often see error messages like 53503 service unavailable? So these terms are really useful, and you will have questions in your exam. You may have, of course, we just talked about five nines availability, 99.999% of SLA or uptime agreement, which Azure Cosmos DB is an example. Resilience refers to a system ability to stay operational during abnormal conditions like natural disasters. System maintenance, both planned and unplanned, including software updates and security patches, spikes in traffic to your site, threats made by malicious parties such as distributed denial of service or DDoS attacks. You know, there will be one question related to DDoS attack. So, DDoS attacks are distributed denial of service attacks. One person act like he tries to interact with your website or your app using different virtual or fake locations, and he tries to influence the traffic, and when there is too much traffic, service becomes unavailable. So how can you protect your website or web app from those attacks? So Azure gives you that advantage. What is a load balancer? Load balancer distributes traffic evenly among each system in a pool. A load balancer can help you achieve both high availability and resiliency. That's why we use load balancer. The problem here is that each VM would have its own IP address. Plus, you don't have a way to distribute traffic in case one goes down or busy. How do you connect your VMs so that they appear to the user as one system? So let's say you used two virtual machines, and how would you make them available? How would you use them? So load balancer is the solution for that. That you can use those two virtual machines as a one system, and load balancer will direct traffic to those virtual machines depending on their health. So let's say you have three virtual machines and all of them are same, so they have the same system running, and if one virtual machine is down, other two virtual machines will take care of it, and load balancer takes care of that. Load balancer can be used globally or locally. So locally means like within a virtual network, you can use a load balancer to direct traffic between different virtual machines. Or yes, and global can be used globally, so outside of your virtual network. Azure Application Gateway. Simply, Azure Application Gateway is load balancer designed for web applications, and you if all your traffic is HTTP, a potential better option is to use Azure Application Gateway. You will have question in your exam paper for sure related to Azure Application Gateway, and you will get confused if you should use Azure Application Gateway or Azure Load Balancer. Always focus on if they are asking about HTTP traffic or something else. So just focus on that, because this is the only difference. Azure Application Gateway can give you cookie affinity, SSL termination, web application firewall, Azure rule-based routes, rewrite HTTP headers. These options can be also included in there. Same way, you also have a CDN network, which we have discussed already, and Azure DNS, which provides specific DNS service for, for your app. Domain name system, which is like, let's say if your user is accessing contoso.com, and based on his location, Azure DNS service redirects the traffic to the local um, domain, which is, let's say if you are in France, then it will become fr.contoso.com. So, which is really helpful. Now we have latency and Azure Traffic Manager. So how can you reduce latency with Azure Traffic Manager? Previously, you saw how Azure Load Balancer help you achieve high availability and minimize downtime. Although your web app is highly available, it doesn't solve the issue of latency or create resiliency across geographic regions, because uh, y- highly availability doesn't mean your app is highly has good latency. So what is network latency actually? Network latency refers to the time it takes for the data to travel over the network. Latency is typically measured in milliseconds. Compare latency to bandwidth. Bandwidth refers to amount of data that can fit on the connection. Latency refers to the time it takes for that data to reach its destination. So differentiate between these two words. How can you uh, scale out to different regions? So your users can be at in any corner of the world. Let's say you have one user in East US, another user in North Europe, one in East Asia, and you are hosting your website from somewhere from Africa. Oh wow, how are you gonna deal with it? So you're gonna have solution. You're gonna scale out to global, and you're gonna use a traffic manager. You're gonna scale out to different regions, and you're gonna use traffic manager based on the user's location. You will redirect the traffic to any of these sites, and that is how it will uh, give you the best latency, or the good latency. So that's all in this module. This module was a little bit big, but this is really important module, and most of the questions are related to this module. Yes, but they might be. It covers most of the services. That's why it's too big. But don't let it go easy. This is the main module of Azure AZ-900, and I hope you liked it. Please let me know in the comment sections if your feedback, and if you want to hear something else, or if you want to know more about Azure, please let me know. Thank you. Please like, share, and subscribe. Have a nice day. Bye.